Just we're back on into the public meeting now, ladies and gentlemen. We've already alluded to the Commissioner's report this morning. His developments on his police and crime plan, and there's been some discussion around him changing his reporting to us and including more outcomes than we're actually receiving. Mr. Williams, you've made a proposal to do a piece of work around that. And I think are all members in agreement with that?
Yes,
yeah. Okay, so we are in total agreement with that. And, thank you for the work that you're doing on that.
When should I bring it back to what time frame? Is it back to the panel?
Next meeting.
When's our next meeting?
The next meeting's 17th of March, or after that, we've got the 6th of June.
Can we go for 6th of June? For that?
Yes. Yeah. Gives you time to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So that's very helpful. Thank you. Okay, so I'll go back to the agenda. I don't anticipate these items will take too long. Item 10 on the agenda, Councillor Burke normally reports to this panel on the National Association and its work. And I've had a discussion with him, and there's no update from that meeting process to date. So we'll now move to item 11 on the agenda, which is the Lincolnshire Police and Crime Panel Skills Audit. Can I bring you in here, Mr. Williams? You've done quite a piece of work on this. Thank you.
I've done a small piece of work with sterling support with Henry. Thank you very much. We've all seen the short brief that I put out. The position, very briefly, is that provides us with an assessment of the skills and experience of panel members. The idea was that this would then go forward to inform the recruitment process for 2 additional co-opted independent members. What I'm suggesting is that we take the findings of this, and in particular the development areas, which highlights budgetary planning and financial oversight as an area that the panel could do with bolstering in. That we go ahead, we pursue the recruitment initiative for 2 independent members, emphasise budgetary planning and financial oversight, and I know that Councillor Bradwell also mentioned the business of scrutiny, so we can also highlight that.
Yes.
Just run a recruitment process, and that we invite volunteers from the panel to be part of the SIFT and interview panel at the end of that recruitment process. If I work with the team actually to just kick the recruitment process off in the first place.
Okay.
Enhancing it in those 2 respects.
Thank you. Councillor Beale, you want to come in?
Thank you. Totally agree. I've recently sat on 2 sort of interview panels, one lay member on private company and the other within my council on my governance committee. So I'm happy to help with that.
Very kind. Thank you. Councillor Woodland.
The other thing to think about is the local government reorganisation plans, such as they might be, and the impact, of course, on police and crime panel, because, of course, the district councils disappear, and who knows quite what will be.
Well, exactly, and we don't know what we don't know. So I think we've just got to plan on what we do know today, and I think the proposal from Mr. Williams is very good, and I think I support it as the chair. So I would propose personally what's been recommended. Do I have a seconder? Yes, Councillor March. All in favour? So we're all in favour. So we're looking for volunteers to deal with this matter. With a number of members not here today, so perhaps an email could go out to the whole membership of the panel, but certainly Councillor Beale, with his experience, etc. I'll bring in Councillor Skinner. Certainly he's indicated his interest today already. Councillor Skinner, happy to help. Okay, thank you. So you'll be receiving the email, and then we'll take it from there. So, Councillor Mark.
Just one quick observation. This piece of work might become more important than we think, because I think that if we do get a reorganisation, certainly the number of councillors will reduce considerably.
Yes.
And I think there's a good chance that we're looking for more independent panel members for such as this,
Yeah.
because there won't be enough councillors to go round.
Yeah, so it's a really important piece of work. And we'll take that forward. Okay, thank you for that. So moving on to item 12, I already alluded to this with Mr. Birch. Review the arrangements and handling code of conduct complaints. Nicola, can I bring you in here, please?
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
So you'll recall a few years ago, you made a request to East Lindsey District Council, who used to administrate the panel, to do a review of the way in which you manage complaints about the Police and Crime Commission in relations to conduct and matters in line with the code of conduct that is set against the known principles. What happened with that request from yourselves that it sat in pause waiting for Lincolnshire County Council to take over the administration of the panel. Now that has happened, and you've been incredibly patient, allowing a few months to pass for us as an administrative team to sort of bed ourselves in and understand that process fully. So this report proposes a way in which we can conduct a review of the way in which complaints are handled. So that is looking at the complaints procedure that was set up and agreed with yourselves right at the inception of this panel, almost 14 years ago now. So to look at the legislation that has come in since that point, best practice, and have a look to see whether there are any additions that we can put into that to make that a robust procedure and in line with the best practice. There's a remit that I popped in the report at 2.3 for the working group to give due consideration to the complaints process, assess it for performance and effectiveness, measure against the legislative framework, and consider how the process is best accessed and utilised and communicated to the public as well. So there is a proposal that there are 3 panel members to join myself or Will in reviewing that complaints procedure, and of course using the involvement of the CEO of the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office as well, who currently manages the complaints procedure, in order to fully do that review. A timeline, look, that it might be reasonable to consider that over the course of 3 informal meetings that will be timed in a way in which we can bring this back to you in June, aware that you've been incredibly patient so far in waiting for this review to take place. So June would be a recognition of that weight.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Thank you for the work you've been doing. Do I have a proposer for that?
Can I just ask comments before? Not volunteering for this, by the way. I'm doing enough.
I was going to say.
But can I just say that you'll recall way back when we discussed the idea of an annual report, and from that might result the notion that we have subcommittees looking at various specific areas of activities such as complaints. That I'm not presupposing that that's going to be an outcome of this review, but to bear that in mind, because the annual report and any discussions we might have on subgroups, obviously that would all overlap in terms of, the principles of how the panel might be constructed in the future. So I make that comment just for your benefit.
No, that's helpful.
To bear in mind as you have those discussions,
Thank you.
whatever your outcome might be.
Thank you. So Councillor Puzzle, you proposed it. Do I have a second now? Councillor Skinner, all in favour? So that's passed. And we're looking somebody to lead on this piece of work. I know Nick's doing a lot of work on this, but
Because there's so few here again, can we put that one out for people to come forward and volunteer?
yeah.
I'm certainly interested in that, but I think everybody should have a chance to put the names.
Okay, so we'll ask everybody as well, but we certainly will want one person to chair the task group. So that's good. Okay, thank you for that. So we move quickly on to the work programme, and we've already discussed 2 important, if not 3 important pieces of work that we're going to carry out. Anything else, Emily?
Just to note really that particularly the meeting on the 19th February had scheduled in the diary as a provisional meeting in case the panel exercises its veto. That will be cancelled in calendars now. But we do have the additional meeting on Monday the 17th of March to consider the draft police and crime plan, but appointments have been sent.
Yeah, so hopefully you have the 17th of March in your diary. I think, am I right in saying that that's going to start, the public meeting will start at 11:30?
Yes.
So the pre-meet will be 10:30 rather than 10 a.m. But that will all come out to you by email prior to that. So I think that concludes our business today. Can I thank you all for your attendance? It's been a very interesting meeting. It's been a very important meeting, particularly around the financial situation of the Lincolnshire Police find themselves in. So thank you very much, and I'll formally close the meeting. Thank you.